Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am 19 weeks pregnant, which seems crazy because if this pregnancy is anything like my last two pregnancies, baby could be here. I could be like over halfway there at this point. So my last two pregnancies, they came at 37 weeks. And so if this pregnancy is anything like those, I'm like over halfway there. So like double, like 19 weeks, I would be 38 weeks. And I've never made it to that. So yeah, so crazy to think that, and to like, I actually woke up this morning and I realized I was 19 weeks, and I always check my app. Delaney loves checking it with me. And I got to thinking like, I could technically be over halfway there, which seems absolutely insane. So I'm going to give you guys just a little pregnancy update, and I shot over on Instagram to send some questions that y'all had. Some were pregnancy related, some were not, so I may answer a few of the non-pregnancy related questions as well. Don't mind the glare back here. I have to film this during nap time and I can't really do anything about that, so we're just gonna get on into this video. I always use the Ovia app to check on baby. I did that with Millie and I just kept it this time as well. So every Tuesday we love getting on the app and seeing what size the baby is and kind of reading a little bit about baby as well. So this week the baby is size of a zucchini. At my anatomy scan last week, the baby was about 8 ounces. After they finished the scan, they can kind of see based off all the measurements they took, like how big the baby is, and it was about 8 ounces. I can't remember how many inches, but about 8 ounces, which is pretty cool. It actually says on here the baby weighs about 8.5 ounces, which if the baby was 8 ounces a little over a week ago, it's probably more than 8.5 now, and about 6 inches long. It's about the size of a zucchini. I'm obviously in the second trimester, and second trimester for many women comes with less fatigue and less sickness, and that is definitely the case for me. Like even before I got into the second trimester, I think it was 12 weeks since I've done a pregnancy update. I was looking back yesterday and I was thinking, what kind of video can I film for today? And I realized it has been so long since I've filmed a pregnancy update. And so since I had my anatomy scan last week as well, I thought I'd go ahead and film that today. But what was I saying? I can't remember everything. I think I was saying, I'm getting sidetracked. I think I was saying that before the second trimester even started, I was actually, the sickness was so much better. So I probably mentioned that. I didn't go back and watch my 12-week update, but I probably mentioned that in there. Lots of questions about my symptoms and things, and I'm going to get to those questions in a little bit, but I have felt so good these past several weeks. So good. The first trimester for me, by the way, if you hear static noise, I've got Millie's baby monitor on and I hope it's not too loud. But the first trimester for me is probably the hardest trimester because of how tired I am. And when you have 3 other kids, that can be tough. Being so tired and just all you want to do is lay down and take a nap or lay down and rest, and you definitely can't do that all the time every day. But I have had a lot more energy lately. No sickness, except like if I don't eat for a few hours, sometimes I might start feeling nauseous. But that's only if I don't eat for 3 or 4 hours, that's when it starts. And then heartburn. I have had more heartburn lately, and a couple days in a row this week or last week, within the past week, I ate a grilled cheese and tomato soup, and that's when I noticed it the most. And I think it was those tomatoes. And so I was like, I probably need to like not like go ahead and like not eat tomatoes for a while, because as much as I love tomato soup and grilled cheese, I felt so awful that night. And I take Tums for my heartburn, and that usually just knocks it out. I can take a Tum and then I'll be fine. But it was not working that night, and I just felt so miserable after eating that. So I think that's what did it when I had it so bad. But usually the heartburn's not too bad at this point. Like I said, I can take a Tums and usually that'll kind of knock it out and I'm fine. Another thing for me, which is not necessarily pregnancy related, because I have this no matter if I'm pregnant or not, especially because I have PCOS, and that definitely makes it worse. But my acne around on my chin and then around my jawline is so bad right now. I haven't really been like trying to treat it with anything, which I know I have to be careful with products, but I just use like I use my regular skincare routine, but I definitely need something that's like pregnancy safe, that not that it will help, because I feel like hormonal acne, a lot of times you can't really help that a whole lot, but it has gotten so bad lately, and I don't know, you can't really tell it as bad when I have makeup on, but just around my jawline and especially just on my chin, and that's literally the only places I break out, but it's been really bad lately. Also, Braxton Hicks. I started having Braxton Hicks last week, and the only thing, I asked y'all over on Instagram if y'all started them at 18 weeks that early, and many of you said yes, and a lot of you said a lot of it was brought on if you were like dehydrated, and I definitely can say I have not drunk enough water like I should during this pregnancy, but since these have started, that's pretty much the only thing I've drank over the past week or two. But Braxton Hicks, so it started one day last week. I was laying down for a little bit during nap time when the kids were napping, and I noticed I felt a little bit of pain, but it was mainly, I was thinking like, I felt like I was having Braxton Hicks. When I got up, they went away. That night, no more pain, but the Braxton Hicks had started up again, and it seemed like they were coming like every like 3 or 4 minutes, which I think that was my biggest worry. Is I know Braxton Hicks are usually like sporadic, they shouldn't be in any pattern or anything, and obviously Braxton Hicks has no pain to it. There's like a tightening in the belly. It's like a non-painful contraction, I guess, and that is how it was. I had not had them the rest of the week anymore, except today. They started back again today. I was sitting on the couch. That's when I noticed them, is when I'm sitting down. I was sitting on the couch and they were coming like every couple of minutes, the Braxton Hicks. So I have an appointment coming up soon. I'm definitely going to mention it to my doctor, but it's Braxton Hicks. It's not a real contraction. It's not painful or anything, but I am going to mention to him like when they do happen, it's like they kind of happen over and over, like pretty quickly, like back to back. But really, that's the only 2 times I've really gotten the Braxton Hicks so far. I know I had gotten, I feel like they always start like within the 20-something week within my past pregnancies, but I don't think I remember them like, I know they say they can come earlier and earlier with each pregnancy, but I guess I didn't remember them coming at like 18 weeks, and so it wasn't so much that they were starting, it was more so that they were just coming so quickly. But I'm definitely monitoring those, and obviously if they start becoming painful and just won't go away, I'd obviously put a call in to my doctor about that. Talking a little bit more about our anatomy scan. We did have our anatomy scan last week, the beginning of last week, and it went very well. We also did some genetic testing at 16 weeks. I can't remember if I updated on that, but at my last doctor's appointment, at my 16-week appointment, I did have some genetic testing done, and that came back all normal. I had the 16-week quad screening. I always get that done during my pregnancies. I always wait to the 16-week mark, and it's just blood work they do, and it came back completely normal. And then I had my anatomy scan, and everything was healthy on that. Baby was healthy, all the measurements were great, and no concerns on that. And like most of y'all know, we did not find out the gender of this baby, and I'm so glad that nobody gave any hints either. Like, I did not, we were either going to find out or we were absolutely not going to know at all. I wanted no hints whatsoever, because I didn't want to, I just want to be completely surprised at birth. I don't want any hints whatsoever. So when the ultrasound tech was doing the ultrasound, she would tell us anytime she would get near that part, she would tell us to look away. So I would like make sure I couldn't see. I would turn my head and put my hand over my eyes just to make sure I couldn't see, and we got no hints. She gave no hints, and so we have no idea what this baby is. And I'll get into some questions soon about what I think it is and all that. But I also at 18 weeks started my, or 17 or 18, 17 weeks. This will be my 3rd week. I take my 3rd shot today. I started my hydroxyprogesterone. They're called P17 shots. Makina is the name of them. And I have taken those during the past 2 pregnancies just to prevent preterm labor, just to help with that. And I'm taking those again, and those have been going well. So today I will take my 3rd one of those, and I will take those up until 36 weeks. And I definitely think that those shots have helped, because when I was induced at 37 weeks the last 2 times, the morning I went to the hospital before induction even started, I was already dilated to a 4 and a 5. So I think without those shots, I don't know what I would have been dilated to, or if I could have went into labor even earlier. So I definitely think those helped me, and I'm glad we decided to go ahead and do them this time as well. All right, so I think that's kind of it with the pregnancy update. I will show you the belly. I'm gonna wait and do that last. I'm gonna go ahead and answer some of y'all's questions. Go ahead and get through as many questions as I can. All right, and y'all asked a bunch, but a lot of them were the same questions over and over. Questions about Weight Watchers. No, I am not doing that while pregnant. I have not followed any specific diet plan while pregnant. And someone asked, do I plan to do it after the baby is born? And yes, I do. I definitely plan on going back on Weight Watchers after the baby's born. I always tend to gain a good bit of weight during my pregnancies, but it usually comes off for the most part after the baby's born. It's usually not too hard to come off. After Millie, I didn't lose all my baby weight like that I gained, because I was already down to my goal weight when I got pregnant with her, so I didn't lose everything. I think I was talking to Ethan about this the other day, about starting back Weight Watchers after the baby's born, and how I'm excited to do that, because after I had Millie, I knew we were gonna have another baby within a couple of years, and I didn't follow the plan completely like I should have. Like I did, and y'all know I did many what I eat a day videos, and I stayed on track most of the time, but I definitely had a lot more cheat meals than I should. And I think it was because I had that mindset that I knew I was gonna have another baby. I was gonna put that weight back on, but this time, we are planning on this being our last baby. And I think after this baby's born, I think I'll definitely have that motivation to just really lose the baby weight. And so yeah, I do plan on going back on Weight Watchers after the baby's born. Okay, lots of questions on how this pregnancy has been different than my other ones. I think people are asking this just to kind of see, like, okay, are your symptoms different? Could it be a boy? The biggest thing is I was not as sick this time. I have always had to take nausea medicine with my last 3 pregnancies with her quads, and then the last 2 pregnancies I have definitely had to take nausea medicine. I've been so sick that I had to have something. I did not this time. I was sick and I still had some nausea, but not to the point where I had to have medicine for it. So that is the biggest thing, is the sickness was not near as bad. And I know so many people say that with boys you're not near as sick, and so we will see. That's the biggest thing though that I've noticed. Pretty much everything else I haven't noticed much of a difference with. And then a lot of people are asking, do we have any names that we're thinking of? And we really don't. We have some names that we, I guess, kind of like, but honestly, any names that I've thrown out, Ethan's pretty much shot down. And so I keep saying, you're just gonna have to name this baby. We do not have names picked out. We have no idea what this baby's name's gonna be, whether it's a boy or a girl. And when we do have a name picked out, I believe we're gonna keep it between Ethan and I, and just keep it between us, just because I think it's a fun surprise, knowing, not knowing that it's a girl or a boy, but also like be able to announce the gender, but also the name as well. I think when we have names, maybe when we have a for sure girl name and a for sure boy name, maybe we'll do another baby name video, the baby names I love but won't be using. Like maybe I could include some of the ones that were like in the running, I guess, but we have no idea at this point. But asked if we end up having a boy, how will we arrange the kids' rooms? So we have 4 bedrooms in this house. We have our room and then we have 3 bedrooms for the kids. One of those rooms, do your test? Let me finish up school. One of those rooms is a playroom as of right now, but after the baby's born, that will eventually be a nursery. Delaney and Ren share a room right now, and they're in bunk beds, and Millie has her own room. When Millie, maybe in about a year, we will probably put Ren and Millie in the same room because they are the closest in age. But we'd probably give Delaney her own room because she is the oldest. And if this baby's a boy, then it works out because he will already have his own room as well. So I think that's how the room arrangement will be. Millie and Ren will eventually share a room. Delaney will have her own room, and then this baby will probably have his or her own room. How long did it take me to get pregnant again after miscarrying? So we had an ectopic pregnancy that ended in the very beginning of April, and then we found out we were pregnant, I think it was the beginning of September that we found out we were pregnant. So it was probably about 4 months, I guess. And we obviously waited the amount of time my doctor told me to wait before trying again. But once we started trying again and stopped preventing, it really didn't take long. And I wasn't expecting that this time, but yeah, so not too long after the miscarriage. And then someone asked if I felt the baby move yet. I actually have an anterior placenta. We found that out at my anatomy scan. And so I have not felt much movement so far. I felt like I was feeling movement a little bit earlier. And I very well still could have been because the placenta obviously can move. Because at one point in my pregnancy, I had a placenta previa from what my doctor could tell, which was a placenta was like laying over the cervix on the bottom. But now at my anatomy scan, I have an anterior placenta, which basically the placenta is like in the front, I guess. And a lot of people say when you have an anterior placenta, you don't feel as much movement. And I have found that to be true. I do feel a little bit of movement sometimes here and there, but not much so far, which I feel like that's pretty common for 19 weeks. So not a ton so far, but I think it does have something to do with the anterior placenta as well. But hopefully within the next couple weeks, we'll be able to feel a little bit more. I've gotten questions on, is this our last pregnancy? Which I did touch that. How am I coping with it if this is my last pregnancy? And someone asked, why is this our last pregnancy? I've always wanted 4 kids, especially after losing our quads. I've always thought we would eventually have 4 kids. And 4 kids, obviously, it just seems like a really good number for us. And Ethan and I both feel that this is our last pregnancy. And so how am I coping with that? So far, I'm just trying to enjoy this pregnancy. But I feel at peace with this as of right now. Now, after this baby's born, I might be a little bit more sad that this chapter, obviously I'm going to be sad that this chapter is ending in my life, because this will be, we're planning on this being my last baby and I'll never be pregnant again, which is kind of sad to think about, but at the same time, like, I feel at peace with that. And I feel like once you feel at peace with that, that's when you like know you're done. And right now I feel good about that decision. Maybe that will change after the baby's born, but we both feel like this is our last baby. Yeah, we definitely feel like this is our last baby. 4 just seems like a really good number. No matter how many kids you have, that is definitely between you and your spouse, you and your significant other. But 4 seems like a good number also, so we can like travel and do things. And yeah, I really like the thought of 4 kids. As far as cravings, I have really honestly not had very many cravings at all. Nothing that I have just wanted all the time. I know that's kind of sounds odd to be pregnant and not have a lot of cravings, but I really have not. And I believe that I'm gonna go ahead and end this video with that question. Let me go ahead and show y'all the belly and then I'll go ahead and end the video. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all the belly. This lighting in here. I'm so sorry. It is so frustrating, but all the glare from the blinds and stuff. But this is my 18-week belly. This from the side. Definitely feel like it's out there. I feel like I've always shown pretty early in my pregnancies though, but that is the 18-week belly. All right, so that is it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm glad that y'all asked lots of good questions over on Instagram. I think I'll just do these monthly from now on, maybe as I get a little bit closer. If other things start happening and I have a lot more to update on, I might do them a little bit more often. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video anyways. Give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. We have so many fun things coming, and I'll see you guys soon for another video. Bye.